the complexity that we manage is vast. And I think everybody who is in marketing understands that complexity. I think there's something on the order of 15,000 point solutions and technology that are supporting marketing. So in our spare time, we're also systems integrators trying to glean information from all of that. But when we get these recommendations from the Sam Altmans of the world or the CEOs or CFOs, they don't really
Yeah.
understand what they're asking, right? Do more with less, and why don't you delve deeper and tell me how you'd like me to do more with less? They lose traction at that point. So it's kind of,
Yeah.
I was talking to one CMO one time, and she said she was so frustrated that she said to her CEO, "I'll just be coloring in the corner," because in some cases, right, I think they think that
Oh,
we are picking fonts and colors, and when really we're managing an unbelievable amount of complexity, and we don't have systems of record that actually give us the insider intelligence to be able to make decisions in real time, which is a little insane given it's 2026 and now we're deploying AI on top of it. So we've been dealing with analytics that actually doesn't live inside of systems that we work with. It actually sits separately. The biggest analytics model that marketers use is marketing mix modeling, and it is a model that runs twice a year. Name me another part of the organization that runs that way.
yeah, no, we don't always help ourselves either. But when I think about my experience, the first part of my career, I worked for as a CMO advisor for marketing services firms that help CMOs, right?
Yeah.
And in that, having all the exposure to these industry leaders, they all wanted to go on the hook for a number. They didn't realize the complexity of the technology, the integrations, the data. You can even do the important work and drive impact, but then it gets incrementally harder to prove impact.
That's right.
I thought it would be easier if I moved to the brand side. I'll just drive this transfer. This has got to be easier than advising all these companies. One of the things I've learned through that transition is marketing is the oftentimes the most overworked, overburdened, underappreciated um, functions that you might see in an organization.
Yeah.
I think every function could probably say that HR, IT, our peers. But the difference is nobody's actually walking into the office of the CFO or the CHRO and saying, I think you should be thinking differently about how we manage our expenses or calculate our customer, acquisition cost. Everyone has an opinion on what they think good marketing looks like.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. So,
I
um,
mean, listen, if somebody asked me, what do you think finance does? Write down the five bullets of the things that I could do it, right? I could say it's AP, it's, month end close, it's contracts, it's billing, right? I could go through that list. I don't know that anybody can go through that list on our behalf. I think if I
yeah,
asked our HR lead or the head of finance to tell me exactly what programs we're running, they wouldn't be able to. And often when we've explained that to them, you kind of see their eyes glaze over as you go through the complexity of the stuff that we're managing. And I think for
yeah,
a long time we got away with, you know what, they'll stop asking when we start performing. So we just start kicking that performance into high gear,
yeah,
the leads start flowing and everybody goes, that's great. Give them another 8% of revenue for the year. We're going to run with it. And by the way, that's an indicator. The fact that the budgets we're given have been largely stagnant between 8 and call it 12 or 15%, and in some
right,
cases larger if there's growth, uh, mostly because we can't prove that value. We can't close loop. And so,
yeah,
in the age where technology started to take over and we started getting more and more what I would call proxy indicators,
right,
click-throughs, open rates, impressions, share of voice, we're trying to shove those proxy indicators up to a C-suite that could care less about
yeah,
those details. They're
yeah.
like, I gave you 8%. What's the return on that investment?